Today's astrological update focuses on global events for December, and it's going to be fascinating, a wild ride. I will analyze the horoscopes of Taiwan, Iran, Ukraine, President Zelensky's personal chart, Israel, the USA, and even Donald Trump. What the stars reveal could not be more significant for an unexpected shift, maybe in ways we haven't anticipated. So be sure to watch until the end. But first, let me warmly welcome you to my YouTube channel. And if you would like to receive a weekly energy update packed with valuable insights and tips for awakened individuals, you can sign up for my free newsletter. The link is right below this video. Let's start with the horoscope of Taiwan. From an astrological perspective, Taiwan's horoscope is particularly significant. And not only in December. I think it's about this year and next year. Uranus is in the birth horoscope placed at 5 degrees in the sign of Capricorn, where Pluto is now also exactly in the range of 5 to 7 degrees in Capricorn in the transit. And this is very significant. Uranus and Pluto, they are strong energies. They speak of destruction and rebuilding something. This is really an explosive energy. And I'm speaking from the perspective of Vedic astrology. Vedic astrology is a completely different system from Western astrology, which considers the actual positions of the planets in the sky. Another very important key element in Taiwan's chart is Mars. Planet Mars is positioned at 1 degree in the sign of Taurus. And there we have retrograde Uranus, already crossed the critical degree and is moving in December back into Taiwan's 8th house, and where the moon is located at 22 degrees. And the moon stands for the people of a country. And this brings explosive energies to the country and the people. The 8th house traditionally represents challenges, transformation, and destruction. Another important thing is the new moon on December the 30th, which falls directly on Taiwan's sun in the sign of Sagittarius. And this activates the 4th house, representing the nation itself and its roots, as well as the 6th house associated with conflict and difficulties, and also the 8th house, which symbolizes profound changes and potential destruction. We have a special constellation in December. We call it the finger of God. And this activates Mars, and this activates the sign of Sagittarius and also the sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius is the sign where Saturn is placed, and Saturn's aspect also activates the 8th house, the sign of Aries in Taiwan's chart. So those energies indicate in December extremely tense situation, almost waiting to explode. While it's difficult to predict the exact timing of such intense events, the planetary alignments suggest that the nation is under tremendous pressure, most notably due to the threat of a potential invasion by China. But now let's take a look on Iran's horoscope for December. Mars will go retrograde on December the 7th. This is in the 1st house for Iran, the sign of Cancer. This points to intense energies reflecting a lot of inner conflicts within the country. Extreme ideological beliefs may also become even more pronounced under this influence. The focus is primarily on internal struggles, issues arising from unresolved past events. The ascendant at 23 degrees in Cancer, located in the lunar mansion Astrology, reveals a strong connection to themes of control and manipulation. This energy is characterized by a dominant leadership style that demands submission from others. Especially important is the full moon on December the 15th. The moon will be at 29 degrees in Taurus, while the sun is directly opposite in Scorpio, also at 29 degrees. The sun forms a direct conjunction with Vyatipata. Vyatipata is the shadow aspect of the sun itself. Additionally, we have their Gandanta. Gandanta are critical degrees and between a water sign and a fire sign, 2 to 3 degrees of each sign. And this brings the feeling to being out of control. So this full moon is very important. This placement may reveal deeply entrenched power structures and unresolved conflicts within the country. Vyatipata is a karmic point, often associated with confusion and chaos. It is this alignment. This could symbolize self-destruction, whether through poor decision-making, stubbornly clinging to outdated structures, or creating internal blockages that hinder progress and exacerbate existing issues. There is also the possibility for attacks from adversaries, or conversely, that Iran itself could initiate aggression. This could lead to an escalation in this area. For Israel, Mars turns retrograde in the 11th house in the sign of Cancer, precisely at 11 degrees. And there is the moon placed in the birth horoscope. And the moon represents the people. And this alignment suggests heightened emotional tensions and unrest among the population. With Mars retrograde, conflicts are often less overt but more prolonged or concealed, indicating the potential for covert disputes that could manifest as terrorist activities. On the new moon of December the 1st, Uranus will be around 0.27 degrees, which aligns exactly with the sun in Israel's natal chart at 0.31 degrees. The sun symbolizes leadership, and Uranus brings sudden and unexpected changes that could shake the country. Combined with the moon in Cancer and Mars position, these energies might trigger sudden and disruptive events, notably the activation of the 9th house, which governs international relations and moral questions, highlights the complexity of the challenges Israel faces during this time. The 11th house, associated with networks, alliances, and large groups of people, may also signify protests or public demonstrations that could destabilize the country further. Large-scale attacks or conflicts involving Israel, potentially tied to international tensions, are also possible. To better understand these dynamics, I analyzed the natal birth horoscope of Benjamin Netanyahu, Born on October the 21st, 1949 in Tel Aviv, he has a Scorpio ascendant. The new moon occurs only 2 degrees from his ascendant point, suggesting a phase of personal renewal for Netanyahu, who is likely under intense pressure to redefine his position. Recently, the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant against him, creating global headlines. You may have heard. Domestically, however, he enjoys strong support even from political opponents, reflecting a sense of national solidarity. Yet this alignment also underscores that international criticism of airstrikes in Gaza cannot be ignored, raising questions of accountability and consequences. The astrological energies suggest that Netanyahu is entering a phase of intense scrutiny and potential upheaval, both personally and politically. His leadership will be tested as he faces the far-reaching consequences of his decisions. Before we dive into the United States, which is also fascinating what to see there, let's take a closer look at country Ukraine. As always, there are more countries we could analyze, but including them all in one video would be too much. By the way, if you are interested in other country horoscopes, feel free to ask in my membership community. For Ukraine's chart, and I will also look more closely at Zelenskyy's horoscope, Mars turns retrograde in the 7th house in the sign of Cancer. The 7th house governs opponents, open enemies, and relationships with other nations. Mars in Cancer often signifies aggression and conflicts that are emotionally charged and unpredictable. As Mars opposes Ukraine's Capricorn ascendant, it shows that the country, as mentioned in my previous monthly updates, is directly confronted with an intensified form of warfare, which directly impacts its civilian population. We also see the destruction of infrastructure through the activation of Saturn and Pluto by Mars. Pluto, often associated with explosive and powerful events such as bombings, reflects the deployment of long-range weapons we are witnessing now. I also analyzed the horoscope of Volodymyr Zelenskyy, born on January the 25th in the year 1979 at 2 p.m. The full moon on December the 15th falls directly on his ascendant at 28 degrees in Taurus. It is always significant when an astrological event directly impacts the ascendant, as this point represents a person's personality and outward expression. A full moon often signifies culminations, turning points, or even endings in life. Additionally, it's notable that the retrograde Mars, starting its retrograde phase at 11 degrees in Cancer, activates Zelenskyy's natal sun at 11 degrees in the sign of Capricorn, in the opposite sign. In astrology, the sun symbolizes leadership and a person's public presence. This configuration indicates that Zelenskyy is under immense pressure. It could manifest as challenges within his leadership role or even direct threats or attacks against him personally. This phase may bring intense trials involving both external and internal conflicts that demand resilience and strategic response. This could signify the end of Zelensky's leadership, a possibility that has been hinted at over the past few months, as I've mentioned in previous updates. Now let's move on and take a closer look at the horoscopes of Donald Trump and the USA. This is where things get really fascinating. For the USA, the sign of Cancer, where Mars will be retrograde, is the 8th house, which represents transformation, breaking away from the old, and deep changes. Opposite Cancer is Capricorn, where Pluto sits, signifying a rupture with the old system and value structures. In Cancer, we also find retrograde Mercury and Rahu in the birth horoscope of the USA. The USA is also currently in the Rahu-Mercury cycle. In Vedic astrology, we have life cycles, very meaningful. And this cycle is activated now strongly by Mars triggering those planets. And Rahu rules the 3rd house, where the moon is located, in the sign of Aquarius, signifying a significant transformation of the people themselves. This transformation is fundamentally tied to a strong desire for freedom and justice, values clearly reflected in Donald Trump's messaging. These are the ideals he promises to uphold: freedom, fairness, and putting America first. The deeply transformative new moon on December the 30th falls in the 1st house of the USA at 15 degrees in Sagittarius. This speaks to profound changes tied to national identity. Sagittarius is strongly associated with standing firm on one's ideals and values, often placing them above those of others. This is a clear echo of Trump's promise to put the American people first, employing tariffs and other measures to make America great again. Now let's shift to Donald Trump's personal horoscope. The transit in December are extremely significant for him and, by extension, for the world. The full moon on December the 15th aligns exactly with his natal sun at 29 degrees in Taurus and directly opposes his natal moon at 28 degrees in Scorpio, where the sun will be during this full moon at 29 degrees. In essence, the sun will sit on his moon in Scorpio and the moon will align with his sun in Taurus. This is an exceptionally meaningful alignment when it occurs with such precision. It signifies both a culmination and the conclusion of a cycle. The sun represents Trump's identity, his status and leadership, while the moon reflects his emotions, his subconscious and public image. This alignment could suggest a pivotal change or shift, perhaps the revelation of information that could shake his position. The month of December could be politically and emotionally challenging for him. Adding to this is planet Uranus' critical position over his midheaven at the time of December, mainly the 1st December when the new moon happens. His MC represents the highest point in his horoscope, symbolizing career and public standing. Could this December bring an unexpected turning point in Trump's life? Mars turning retrograde in Cancer takes place in Trump's 12th house. This is also where his Venus is placed. Venus, a planet that rules his 10th house of career as well as his marriage and relationship. Old legal issues or hidden adversarial matters may resurface during this time. The 12th house also signifies hidden enemies, and retrograde Mars in Cancer points to covert aggression or attacks. The astrological energies strongly suggest that December could be a decisive month for both Trump and the USA, filled with unforeseen events and deep transformations. The transits for Trump indicate a highly critical phase marked by sudden events, challenges from adversaries, and profound transformations that could significantly impact his life. Potential scenarios include the end of his political ambitions or a personal retreat, or even a serious threat. Whether these energies lead to a public visible turning point or remain behind the scenes is yet to be seen. The astrological energies not only highlight pivotal shifts for Donald Trump, but also underscore a highly dynamic and transformative period for the global stage as a whole. What unfolds in December sets the tone for the coming year, both politically and socially. We are witnessing something long anticipated begin to manifest, the emergence of a new world order. This is a call for all of us to stay vigilant and rooted in our own strength, and we can do this. No matter how external events evolve, your inner resilience and clarity remain the foundation for navigating these challenges. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to sharing more with you. If this video resonates with you, please share it with others who are also interested in the astrological and energetic developments, and share it with the world. Thank you so much, and do not forget, I love you.